Hey guys, Metal Jesus here. Now recently I got contacted by a good friend of mine. His name's Josh. He goes by the Big JB. He was cleaning out his house. He contacted me. He's like, dude, do you want a bucket full of old PC parts? Of course, being me, I had to say yes to this, but it came with the caveat that I had to take them all sight unseen. So in this video, we're gonna dig through this bucket. I have no idea what's in there. We're gonna do it together. Let's take a look. Let's dig into this thing. I actually had it sitting in the back of my car for a couple weeks. I actually forgot about it, and I was driving around a corner. I'm like, what is that noise in the back of my car? Something falling over? Sure enough, it's a bucket. So first thing I noticed right here underneath some random cables is the X-Wave PCI sound card. I believe this is from Yamaha. Now, probably not a great sound card. I actually don't recognize it at all. Never really used it before, but it is a PCI sound card. One of the interesting things that I always forget is that in order to use a controller slash joystick back in the day, you had to plug it into this MIDI game port, not a USB port. People forget that. Let's go ahead and move some of these cables out of the way here. I think Josh just tossed in a bunch of these because he doesn't use them anymore, but myself, I actually keep a couple boxes full of old cables because every time I tend to throw them out, about 6 months later, I get pissed because I look for them again because I've got so many old consoles and computers. So now I just keep them. Also because, well, Radio Shack is pretty much non-existent, at least in my area. All right, let's keep digging here. And here we have the NVIDIA GeForce 6 series. Now, I did a bit of research and I can't really tell if this is the 6800 GT or GS model of this. There were a bunch of them released at this time. I will say though, one of the things I love about this era is the imprint that they put on the front of that. So cool. I love how they started making video cards kind of look sexy. Now this video card came out around 2004 and I don't have one of these in my collection already. So this is going to be something I'm definitely going to keep because you never know when you're going to need a really good 3D accelerator card from that era, especially if you want to go back and do some gaming. So this is a pretty cool little find. Next up, I see here a Creative Labs Sound Blaster Live 5.1, another PCI sound card here. And I remember when this came out because, again, I was so excited. It was 5.1 channels. Ooh, more than stereo. Now, digging a little deeper here, this is something I did not expect to find in here. This is actually a Sony hard disk drive for the PlayStation 2. I don't know if Josh meant to toss it in here, but this is the 40 gig model. I don't have a hard drive for my PS2, so this is pretty cool. I have no idea what's on there. Not really sure what I would use it for. I think you can put Linux on it. I think I could probably copy games to the hard drive and boot directly from it. So if you have some suggestions for me, please let me know down in the comments below. It looks like I have another Creative Labs Sound Blaster Live 5.1 sound card here, although this one actually says digital compared to the previous one, so I'm not sure what the difference is just yet. I haven't actually researched that, but I do know that these sound cards were very popular at the time. Every game worked with them, and so you can never really have too many in your collection, especially if you do some old PC gaming, because they work with everything. Digging into this pink bag here, looks like we have an IBM DeskStar hard drive. DeskStar. I have to say that very carefully because I want to say Death Star. It looks like this is an old 80 gigabyte IDE drive for computers. So it's actually a 3.5-inch drive and looks like the speed is 7,200 RPMs. Again, I have no idea what's on here. I assume Josh wiped these. I have no idea. It looks like we got another sound card here. This is the Creative Labs Sound Blaster Audigy, specifically the Platinum EX version of this. And I think this came out around 2007. Now, what was kind of cool about this sound card is that it supported an external breakout box. It also had direct sound 3D support. I remember that being a pretty big deal. Pretty nice sound card back in the day. Let's go ahead and clear out some of these random cables here. And it's funny, I'm seeing this old monitor cable here. I actually recently bought one of these off of eBay because I have a breakout box for my Dreamcast. and I wanted to connect it VGA to my HD television, and I needed one. So here I have two. Yay! A little bit deeper here, I find this slim DVD drive, which seems kind of weird and out of place, but all right, maybe I'll use it. I have no idea. Looks like we might have another hard drive here. Yep, looks like it is a Maxtor drive. This is a 40 gig, so a little bit older than the previous one. And again, I'm kind of wondering what might be on these. So Josh, if you're watching this video, I'm very curious to know if you wiped these or not. I'm betting you didn't. Although in all seriousness, it's actually nice to have some of these older drives, because if you do go back and build a Windows 98 or Windows XP machine, often the BIOS will recognize these older drives over newer ones. So it just makes it a little bit easier building those type of retro computers. Now, here's something you don't see every day. This is kind of funny. This is a 3-COM Ethernet network card. And the reason why this is kind of funny is because people forget that back in the day when you bought a brand new computer, it probably did not come with an Ethernet connection or even really a modem. You had to go out and buy a card separately and then hope that the Windows drivers worked. So this is definitely something that is part of the past that thankfully is now built into pretty much every computer. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper here, and I'm seeing something that is absolutely massive at the bottom here. Pull this thing out and I was like, what the hell? So this is a Dell NVIDIA GeForce 7800 GTX video card. I don't know why it has this big extension on the back of it. Again, I don't know anything about this, never had to use it before, but you know, if size is important, this thing looks like it's pretty awesome. I did do some research and it looks like this has 256 megabytes of RAM, and I guess it supports DirectX 9. So don't know if I'll ever use this or not, but again, it's kind of a cool thing in case I end up building a specific machine. And speaking of computers, you can see I have one in this bucket here. This is a Dell that I'm not really familiar with because it's a smaller form factor than I'm used to. At least I've never owned one of these in the past. Maybe it's a business model, I'm not really sure, but the model is Optiplex 980, and a little bit of research told me that this is an Intel Core i5 running at 3.2 gigahertz. So not a bad machine, although I'm not sure what video chip it has in there, so I don't know if it would be very good for gaming. But taking a look at the front there, that's where the DVD drive comes from, which makes total sense. So not sure what else is missing from this. I have no idea if this thing actually works, but it shouldn't take much to try it out. And the form factor is perfect for my game room because if it does play games, yeah, I could probably use it. Getting towards the bottom here, it's pretty funny. He has a copy of Office Professional 2003. I assume that's probably completely worthless at this point. I certainly don't need it. Looks like we have a 52X CD drive, which actually that's pretty decent. I mean, again, building an old machine, 52 speed, that's gonna be nice for gaming. And then okay, we got another couple of hard drives. Oh man, I know. The mind boggles at what might actually be on these. I have no idea. At the bottom here, we have a bunch of cables and connections that I may or may not use. I don't know. It's hard to say with these things. Like I said, every once in a while, I do need them for some random project I'm doing, as well as this TP-Link Wi-Fi router. That's cool. Well, there you go, a bucket of random PC parts. I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Josh, the Big JB, who basically donated this to my channel instead of taking it to the recycling center. Because as you guys know, most people just don't care about this stuff. But I am a huge PC gamer, old school PC gamer. I have a couple old machines, and you know, I like having a machine for specific eras. So this is perfect because I don't actually have a lot of parts for the 2000s. So thanks very much, man. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching.